When I was 18 years old, I had negative $187.65 in my bank account, a couple maxed out credit cards, and I had absolutely zero knowledge on financial literacy, let alone how to invest in real estate. But by the time I was 23 years old, I had $7 million worth of real estate in the form of 83 rental units. Now, this is not some rags to riches story that I'm trying to sell you on. And as you can tell, I'm not in my garage in front of a Lamborghini talking to you about my 7 new bookshelves that I just got. However, I'm sure it does beg the question in the back of your mind, how did this guy do it? Hey, what's going on, guys? Daniel here, one half of the Kwok Brothers, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I started investing in real estate, and more specifically, buying apartment units when I was 18 years old, to the point where by the time I was 23, I actually had 83 rental units to my name, most of which were, again, apartment complexes. Now, this video is going to be a combination of me sharing with you what I did at age 18 to get to where I am at today, and also what I wish I would have done when I first started my real estate journey at that age. So having said that, I'm going to be giving you guys the best of the best, what I did and also what I wish I would have done, just so you guys can make as much money, have as much success, and do it in half the time along with a lot less headache. Now guys, keep in mind I'm 26 now, so I'm talking about my journey 8 years ago, but I hope this helps. Now, having said that, the method in which I would call that is the PPP method. And no, it's not the Paycheck Protection Program, but each P actually stands for something very important. Matter of fact, the first P stands for people. Now, in my opinion, this is extremely valuable, especially if you're young and you're just starting out. And also, having said that, this is actually the first thing that I would focus on if I were 18 and if I were to do it all over again, knowing what I know now. Now, when I say people, I also mean you, because the basic concept and the philosophy that I teach to a lot of my students and coaching clients is that you have to invest in yourself before you can invest in anybody else. You literally cannot pour out of an empty cup. So here are my top 3 ways that I personally found to be most efficient in investing in myself. The first one is shadowing real estate investors in my area who are actually doing what I wanted to do on a day-to-day basis.
Hey guys, it's Sam here. So I'm jumping in behalf of Daniel, which of course many of you guys can't even tell. You guys are probably were the same people. But anyways, as far as shadowing a real estate investor in your area, make sure that they have done deals, they've done results. But when you first reach out to them, I wouldn't necessarily reach out to them with an email or a phone call asking them to shadow, but instead just take them out to lunch. And of course, you're offering to pay for the lunch. Now, in that conversation during lunch, you're trying to pick at their brain as much as possible, asking them questions as far as what you want to learn. And then perhaps at the end of that conversation, at the end of the lunch, then you can go and ask, hey, can I occasionally shadow you? Can I come on by? Or can I work for you for free? Which is a phenomenal answer, right? If you can work for free and get to learn a lot of the skill sets that the expert real estate investor has, that's gonna be a win for you. And that's a win for the real estate investor themselves, because now they have quote unquote free help. And I highly encourage you to do this not only with just one person, but also maybe 2 or 3 people that are in your area, and basically pick and choose as far as who has the best integrity, character, and the likability that you may have in terms of relating with that person. And last but not least, also look into what you shouldn't do and what mistakes to avoid, because a lot of times half the battle is knowing what not to do versus what to do in terms of becoming a successful real estate investor.
So the second way that I found to be very efficient in investing in myself was having a mentor and or coach.
Now, if you're just getting started, let's say you're brand new and you don't know anything about real estate investing, let alone buying apartment buildings when you're 18, my suggestion to you is not to spend more than $2,000 to $3,000 in getting a coach. And the reason why I say that is now is a great time to just get to know the tip of the iceberg as far as what you should learn. And of course, this coaching or this course should at least get you to the first deal so that you do have the confidence. Now, once you have done your first deal, and let's say you've made some money, now is a great time to then scale and find a coach or a course that's gonna go and help you scale and learn more and get to the bottom of the iceberg, so to speak. So that's when you wanna spend maybe more than $5,000. In fact, I just spent $30,000 on a consultant, and that's because the level where I am, I need to be able to scale from 7 figures to 8. So there is a appropriate time and appropriate amount to spend and invest in coaching depending on where you are, right? If you're just getting started, maybe $2,000, $3,000. I think $5,000 is probably where I'll draw the limit in terms of how much you actually should pay for a coach / a course. And of course, once you've gotten done your first deal or your second deal, you're looking to scale, I think that's the best time to go in and spend 10,000, 20, even 30, depending on where you are in terms of level. And of course, that's depending on where you are. Now, I know some of you are totally anti paying for a coach and a consultant, but I do suggest that you do invest in yourself monetarily with buying courses and coaching, and not, promoting ourselves. You can go and buy other courses if you want, not just us. But I say that because when you pay for something, you end up paying attention. And I noticed this even for myself, that I take things a little bit more seriously when I pay for things, such as when I pay that $30,000 for my consultant. I'm not kicking around the can. I'm actually gonna be paying attention, and I'm serious about taking the information that my consultant is giving me and then implementing them, because there's more value and there's more exchange that I've done by paying a consultant or a mentor to help me grow my business. Because at the end of the day, you can either pay a coach who could help you navigate some of the pitfalls and the right way of doing it, or you can ultimately pay for it by making the mistakes and ultimately costing you because, of course, you didn't know how to navigate in the first place. So either you pay for it through an actual education place, or you pay for it through mistakes in the marketplace, which I would take the education all the time, because you don't want to have to deal with the emotional stress of making the mistakes and having to pay for it.
And last but not least, guys, in terms of being efficient and personally investing in yourself, number 3, I say books, podcasts, YouTube channels, and etc. Now, guys, if you guys want to know the best book for learning how to buy apartments and invest in real estate, check out my book, guys. It's 0to75units.com. Literally, it threw itself at me. That's how powerful this book is. But, I literally in this book have case studies, stories, how I acquired my first investor, how I bought my first building. I have techniques, conversational tactics, and it's also authored by my brother and Levi McPherson as well, who contributed to the book. So guys, grab your free copy. It's absolutely free. And this is, not an ad, because I'm not having you pay for anything. So go to 0to75units.com. Other books that I found to be really helpful is The ABCs of Real Estate Investing by Ken McElroy. Am I Being Too Subtle by Sam Zell. Great podcast. I really love The Real Wealth Show by Kathy Fettke. YouTube channels, my good friend Joe Fairless. Ken McElroy is also a great channel. Bigger Pockets is also a phenomenal podcast to check out. And of course, our channel as well, which leads me to say, smash that like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to click on that notification bell. Now, obviously, there are other people that you must invest and build a relationship with. As a matter of fact, that's actually the number one mistake that I see real estate investors making, is that they don't have a solid team and a lot of these things prepared before doing their first deal. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple years ago, my wife, she had just sold her 4-unit building because she invests in real estate as well. And I asked her, honey, in your opinion, what's the number one takeaway that you've gotten from owning this 4-unit building and now selling it and letting it go? What would you say is your most primary takeaway? And without hesitation, she says, man, have a good team. That's going to solve a lot of issues for you. It's going to eliminate a lot of stress. So all in all, my advice and also my wife's advice, have a great team. Now guys, speaking of team, let's talk about some members that you're going to need on your real estate operational team. We've got people like your attorney, your property manager, your broker, maintenance person, inspector, and also your lender. Now guys, there's a lot of individuals that I did not mention, but in my opinion, what's listed on the board right now, these 6 are arguably going to be your most important people that you're going to have on your team. I call this my starting lineup. Now I know there's 6, not 5, forgive me, I get it. Regardless, these are the roles that you want being filled on your team. Now at this point, you might be saying, well, Daniel, where do I find these people? Do I go on Craigslist? Is there like a Tinder where I can meet potential business partners? No, if you value your life, would not recommend you do that at all. However, what I would recommend is going to different networking events. Now, I know it's challenging, guys, due to the pandemic of actually physically going to networking events, but let's be real. A lot of states are beginning to open up now. They're starting to have networking events again. So I'd highly recommend meetups, networking events. Now, having said that, my personal favorite way of meeting these individuals and building a good, solid team is to actually go back to the first thing that we talked about, which is shadowing a real estate investor who's actually doing it. If you build a great relationship with that individual who's already operating in a certain area and have been doing so for many years, well, chances are they have great contacts. They have people that are reliable, that have integrity, and that do a great job so that you don't have to go through the hassle of having to make mistake after mistake trying to find the individuals that are best fit for your team. That's how I did it. That's how a lot of individuals who want to skip the headaches, skip a lot of the time, do it. I'd highly recommend that's how you guys do it. Now, having said that, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our second P. So our first P was people. The second one is problems. Now, in my opinion, guys, the true definition of an entrepreneur is you're a professional problem solver. So what does it mean to be a professional problem solver? Well, I want to share this story with you guys that really defined it for me. And it was one of those moments in life where it just kind of clicks. So hopefully it could be the click for you. So I remember when I first began my real estate investing journey, I was a man obsessed. I mean, I would wake up at 7 in the morning, which for me is really early. And I would stay up till 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. And the whole time, other than taking a break to eat or work out, I would just be focused on investing in real estate and learning, and reading and listening to podcasts and buying courses and watching them. And well, it got to the point where I was the most book smart guy in every single room I went into. But I saw a lot of individuals who didn't quote unquote know as much as I did, making significantly more than what I was making at that point in my real estate investing career. And I'll be very honest with you, it very much frustrated me. And that's kind of when I went to God, because I like to talk to God about a lot of things. And I said, what's the problem here? Why am I not making as much money as these other people, right? Like, why am I struggling? And God took me to this passage in scripture in John chapter 13, where, long story short, Jesus is walking into this room with his disciples, and he has this realization that he's the most powerful being in the universe. And to respond to that, he actually took off his clothes and brought out a basin of water and began washing the feet of his disciples. And in that moment, God told me, Daniel, the problem with you is that you have a very smart brain, but every room you walk out of, everybody's feet is still dirty. You need to go out there and start serving people and adding value to other people's business, not just looking to add to your bank account and your business. So what I did was very simple. I remember I had a little notepad and also my smartphone. And at this time, I belonged to a couple different networking events that met weekly, and the amount of people that met were probably about 500 to 600 people that I was exposed to on a week-to-week basis. And I would go up to every single one of them, right? Obviously, it took me a couple months for me to do it, but I would just simply go up to them and ask, hey, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you have in your business right now? And guess what happened, guys? I met potential sellers because, when I asked them that question, they said, you know what? I've been trying to sell my building for 6 months now, and no one's given me an offer that I really wanted. And I got to sit down with that person, hear out their problems, and really try to serve them and wash their feet. And I was able to create a win-win scenario that was actually really awesome for me. Same thing with investors. I would say, hey, what are some of the greatest obstacles you have in your business right now? And I would have people who would tell me, well, Daniel, I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I make $500,000 a year. My CPA is telling me that I need to get into some real estate for tax benefits. If you brought me a deal, that would solve a lot of my problems. And that's how I created a lot of great relationships in the beginning, where I would have investors bring in money and I would split the deal with them 50-50. And I was able to buy real estate, no money, no credit, out of my own pocket. So at the end of the day, think about everybody that you can do this with, whether it's sellers, investors, team members, you name it. And guys, I encourage you to genuinely take that mindset of wanting to serve the other person, because at the end of the day, who do we want to work with? We want to work with the people that eliminate stress in our lives. That's the type of people we want to work with. Now guys, the third and final P stands for properties. Now guys, there's 3 aspects to properties that I would say we need to consider. The first one is numbers. Now guys, there's a lot to talk about here in terms of being able to analyze numbers on a real estate deal. So we'll go ahead and make that into a future video. So again, guys, just a reminder, don't forget to subscribe. Now in terms of the actual building itself, the way I like to handle it is I like to have an inspector go out and check out the building while I'm there, which is again why we talk about building a solid real estate team, having somebody who's very good at what they do, integrity, right? Does what they say they're gonna do. Because a lot of times if you have a great inspector, the building aspects tend to take care of itself. And last but not least, the tenant. Looking at the market, the rental trends in terms of where you're investing. Now guys, this is a question that I get a lot. Daniel, which websites would you recommend for doing research? Now guys, in my opinion, these are my personal favorite websites that I like to visit to get information on certain markets, how good the tenants are, what does the income look like, the supply and the demand. The first one is Berkadia. Number 2, Black Knight. Now guys, these are not in any certain order. Second one is Black Knight. Third is Scotsman Guide. And a lot of great brokerages put out research reports and articles constantly. Some really good ones are Marcus and Millichap, Integra, and Coldwell Banker in real estate. So again, guys, I usually recommend people spend, about 15 minutes a day just getting themselves warmed up and caught up in terms of what's happening with the market. And as soon as you pick a market in terms of where to invest, which I feel like can be another video in and of itself, I like to use these resources and websites to see what that area is all about and how that area performs. Now, obviously, everything we talked about in this video are things that I would do at age 18 if I were to start all over again, knowing what I know now. However, having said that, It doesn't mean that whether you're 18, 68, 58, that this information isn't relevant and possible for you. So I encourage and challenge you guys that if you have a couple names that maybe people in your life who are interested in getting involved with investing in real estate, they just want to dabble, they want to see if this is for them, I encourage you to share and send this video to them because I'm sure it'll be extremely helpful. Now, having said that, moving forward with our channel, we are looking to release a lot more real estate investing content. So don't forget to subscribe. And I'm sure there will be videos that pop up somewhere in the screen that will lead you to another video that we have on helping you guys in your real estate investing journey. So having said that, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video, guys, share this video. And for more daily content, go follow our Instagram at thequacbrothers.com. Thank you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.